We got the BD Insight Auto Guard with blood control. It has a one-time blood control feature, meaning that whenever you hook anything to this IV, once you connect it, it opens up the valve. Once the valve is open, it is always open. When you pull your sheath off, you're going to notice that there's a little white button here. This little white button is how you safety the needle. When you hit that safety button, your needle is going to, it's spring loaded and it's going to snap back into the barrel of this catheter. So it's really important when you're starting your IV, you're not holding the IV from the back and resting your finger on that button, because you're going to prematurely safety that needle before you're ready to. So what you want to do is choke up on this thing, get almost all the way to the hub of this catheter, and let your index finger rest on that push tab, and then just put a little bit of downward pressure. That's important because when you go to thread, if you try to flick this with your nail, since the push tab is on the IV itself, if you try to use your nail, when you go to thread, this whole thing could turn on you. So to prevent the catheter rotating, if you put your pad of your finger on that push tab and put just a little bit of downward pressure, you'll have a lot more control over the hub of that catheter. So the 20 gauges, 22 gauges, and 24 gauges, the first place you're going to see a flash is up the needle itself. Then it will continue to fill in this filling chamber back here. 18 gauge and larger, the only place you're going to see your flash is in this filling chamber. So if you're doing 18s, 16s, 14s, this is where you'll be looking for your blood. On the catheters that have the instant flash, the 20, the 22, and the 24, when you see this flash come up the needle, your instinct is going to be to stop and thread. All it means when you see that flash initially is that the bevel of this needle has entered the vein. But it's a critical step, once you see that flash, to lower your whole device and then go in a smidge further, like the width of a grain of rice. After you do that, you're going to thread your catheter, and then you're going to hit your safety button. So the most important thing that I don't want you to do with this catheter is when you're threading, I don't want you to pull back at all. Your hand should stay right where it is, and you should just thread your catheter forward. It's going to look a little bit like this. Let's see if we can hit a vein on this mannequin here. All right, so you're going to go in. I always tell people to go low and slow. All right, we got a little bit of flash here. I don't know if there's...
Blood pressure's not very high in there.
Yeah, it's coming there. So we got a little bit of a flash here, so we're going to lower our angle. We're going to go just a little bit further. Then we're going to use the pad of our finger, and we're going to push this IV forward. Notice my hand did not go back. Once we get to that point, we're going to come right here and safety the needle. After you safety the needle, this little compartment is going to fill up with blood. If that does not fill up with blood, one of two things has happened. Either the catheter came to rest against a valve in that vein, or you went through the backside of the vein. Either situation, you can still salvage that. You would just simply pull back until that little compartment filled up with blood, and then you would float it back in.
Okay. Thanks, Chad.
You're welcome.